Hey there, Willowbrook, and thanks so much for doing our daily Devo today. We are in Psalm 46. One of the things that I love about the Psalms is that I believe the Psalms are a framework or a roadmap for us to understand what intimacy with God looks like. Now, I think you probably are aware that if you have received the free gift of Jesus's death and resurrection from the cross over your sin, that you've received salvation, you probably have heard and know that that means that you now are in relationship with Jesus. But I think that you would agree that there are relationships that maybe you've been in a really long time or shorter ones, and they all have different depths to them. You could have known somebody for the last 35 years and still not know very much about them. There's not a lot of dialogue. You're good at saying, hey, maybe shooting them a text on their birthday, but when it comes to the depth of the relationship, I mean, it's just not there. You can know somebody for a long time and not have it, but you can also know someone for a shorter amount of time and you've gone deep with that person. Like, you know what their fears are. You know what makes them happy. You know the griefs that they carry. And I think that's what we find in Psalms. I think we find that the psalmists are giving us an example of what it looks like to experience a depth in the relationship we have with Jesus. A lot of these Psalms are written by King David, but not all of them. But the one that we're looking at today, there's one specific verse, verse 10, that's actually a pretty famous verse. Like, we put it on coffee cups, we embroider it on pillows. Like, it's something that we like to say, but I think the practice of it may be a little bit more challenging for us. Psalm 46:10, it says this, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world." Be still and know that I am God. That is so easy to say, but I think in practice is a little bit more challenging because a lot of us go at a pace where we have filled up our day with places we have to go and emails we have to return and things that we've got to accomplish. And the idea of stillness feels a little scary. It's uncomfortable. And so even if we sat down to read the Bible, even if we sat down to pray, the idea of stillness is a discipline that we are challenged by. Because I think that even if we pause, a lot of times we pause with our phone in our hands, or we pause with a remote in our hands. We pause in some way that helps us escape for a little while, but we don't pause and recognize God in his full authority over whatever's happening in our lives. So I want to challenge you with something that, like, if you have spent 3 minutes with me since January 1, you have heard me talk about this, and it's a new discipline that I have in my life. And I use my Apple Watch and I set the timer for 2 minutes and I sit still. And I think for some of us, we think that stillness means we have to empty our minds. Can I challenge you that don't? Like, sit still, take a deep breath, and let your mind go where it will. And then go there with God. Invite him into that place. If it's your grocery list, if it's your child that you're worried about, if it's finances, whatever the thing is that your mind goes, let God go with you. And then here's the practice I've been doing. I've been doing 2 minutes a day, every day, sitting still. And if I find my mind going somewhere, I will do this. God, you are God over that. The thing that I find myself struggling with, I will declare God's godness, his authority and his sovereignty over wherever I go. And that pause for me has now reshaped, it's reframed whatever it is that I've got going on. Because I have put God in the place of authority over even the smallest details and the biggest problems that I feel like I face. So I want to challenge you to be still. 2 minutes. I mean, just set a timer for 2 minutes. And then if you find that you sit still and your mind actually doesn't go there anywhere, ask God to speak to you. God, would you speak to my heart this morning? Would you show me more about your character? But I found that a lot of times I need the pause to quiet my mind. And I quiet it by declaring God's authority over the places my mind goes. I think that you could experience greater intimacy with God with just this simple 2-minute practice. Oh, Willowbrook, I love you, and I can't wait to hear how God is moving in your life and you're experiencing deeper intimacy with Him. Have a great Wednesday.